Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talladega, Alabama, the house of Earnhardt Country, where tonight, the nightcap, it's going to be a little bit of the rowdy variety. How about a little grudge match money racing here presented by Racers Elite? Matt Metler, as always, up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth right here live on Ghost Racing Network. Want to thank everyone for joining us here live tonight. Of course, Andrew Teft, the man, the myth, the legend who puts this all together. Cannot thank him enough for all of his hard work and dedication to make these races possible. Again, as I said, we're going money racing tonight. Total prizes up to $500. Again, that's contingent upon the amount of entries that we have in the field. However, always nice when you can put some extra meat in the back pocket. And that's exactly what we're getting ready to do here tonight as these drivers are primed and ready to rock and roll here from Earnhardt Country. Let's go ahead and pull up the race information for you guys at home. Again, we're at the Megaplex of Speed. This place opened in 1969. The track distance, 2.65 miles. Track temperature, a little on the spicy side, coming in at 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Ambient air temperature, 81 degrees. 52% relevant humidity, not a cloud in the sky. However, that wind could be a factor, especially when going down the backstretch. Is currently at 12 miles an hour. It could gust up to 18 at times this evening. So something these drivers are going to have to be keeping an eye of all night tonight. Just about finished up through qualifying here this evening. So let's go ahead and change this up for you guys at home. Currently, fast speed on the board so far tonight, owned by the 62. He set a blistering lap of a 54.30. That's good for the provisional pole right now. Still just about 5 seconds left, so I'm pretty certain that's going to give him the pole tonight, and it does. So the 62 is going to start off P1 here this evening as we get set, ready to rock and roll here from Dale Earnhardt Country. As that field now gets set, ready to roll. Again, a little bit of a change up tonight. We're in the Xfinity car. Last week we were in the next gen. I love how this league likes to change it up. My favorite especially is the Gen 6, but we're back in the solid fixed axle race car here. Typical age pattern, the way it should be in my opinion. And these glorious V8s just sound so much better than in the next gen in this Xfinity race car tonight. As the field now getting set for 94 laps here in prime time. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here live on Ghost Racing Network. You want to support the cause, smash the like button, ring the bell, join the family. It's simple. Go ahead and turn on those bell notifications. That'll give you an alert each and every time we're live here with hardcore, high-flying, high-octane racing action on GRN. Going to have 20 drivers tonight that are going to take the green flag. Top three will obviously place in the money. We'll hear from those top three at the end. And then also, not 100% certain, but we could be doing a random prize being drawn as well, as Andrew Teft often does here. Again, want to thank him for all the hard work and dedication. As this field now gets racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll as we begin to roll off. Field now rolling behind that iRacing.com pace car. Chantel in race control, want to thank her for all of her hard work. RC often underappreciated and undervalued in my opinion. know she's been a great asset to here, the Racers Elite, and certainly want to thank her for all the help, dedication, and support. Also want to thank all of our Strategic Family Alliance partners, our official setup shop, Team Watson Racing Setup, and our official custom paint schemes, design, and more Black Magic. Cannot do it without the support of all the partners, sponsors, racers, and fans that make this all possible each and every time we go live. Going to be interested to see how this field, or these drivers, I should say, go about this race here tonight as far as strategy. Always the elusive big one looming at any point in time here at Talladega. A lot of these drivers just take it easy early, survive the big one. Do some of these guys start in the back? Do some of these leaders decide to go to the back? What's going to be the winning strategy? You got to stick here, hang here with us through the entire race tonight. You'll be glad you did. It's time to get rowdy. Pace car is going to get set to pull off here, coming down pit road. And there's only one thing left to say. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Race fans, let's get ready to rumble here from Talladega. Green flag in the air, climbing up the H pattern we go, and the glorious V8s come to life here in prime time. Field now coming up to speed for the first time as we enter the turns 1 and 2 complex. That bottom line is formed up well. Got the 62 there, the 55 at Davenport. He is very good in this race car. Andrew Teft now in 4th, working the bottom. In fact, what do you say? Let's go on board with the head cook, chief, and bottle washer. We look out the front of Teft's Dark Horse Mustang. Hope Valley, Rhode Island. He's going to need a hope and a prayer. A lot of prayers. You can see him just working inches off the back of that TRD-powered machine. From the gyro cam now, you can see the crazy just banking in the corners here. Oh, we got problems. The 39 off the racetrack. Hit a massive bump there. That's Jake Roll. And he almost went for a ride. Not sure if he got shoved out of line as we were on board there with Teft, but he's going to keep in the lead draft. And that got spicy quick, fast, in a hurry, but we stay green. So we now take it back up to the front. The Lake Martin man has the plan here early. And I can assure you guys at home, these positions will change a lot throughout the course of this one. Ooh. That was kind of a block there. I'm not sure if he meant to do that, but that's the last thing you want to do, especially early in these races, is start stacking these lines up. However, the other side of the coin, that's what gives you the energy. Kensley Smith there in the 15, always throwing it back to Michael Waltrip in the DEI days. Love the paint scheme on that race car. Ooh, big time wiggle. And that's the other part of this thing. It's the dirty, turbulent air here. There's one of the silent killers that you can't see, as a driver, except if you're Earnhardt. They said he could feel the wind in his face, famous for that open air, open face helmet that he used to wear. But that turbulent air is what makes these cars sometimes bob around. Almost looks like they're breathing at times. A little bit of a side draft there. That 55 of Davenport. was just welded to the back of the 62, and you can see how that energy propels that line. And just as that lane dissipates, now you're going to see the top lane get a form up here and get a good run. Again, got a long way to go tonight as we're now working lap 5 of 94. I'm not looking for, I don't think these drivers are going to do anything crazy here early. Because again, you know, the game plan here is survive to be alive at the end of this thing. You can't win it on lap 1. You got to have a race car that's aerodynamically sound and running at the last lap. Ooh, we got a big time run here. Andrew Teft working really hard here with Davenport on the bottom. Someone gets shot out of the hot dog run as we got, is that Hammer Time up there in the 71. Tried to get a third lane going. No one went with him. However, he is drawing some of the leaders. Uh-oh, that's the diamond formation. Don't want to do this. And suddenly, Kinsley Smith is in a spot that he does not want to be in. Oh, God. Hold on to your helmets, boys. Big time jostling. These drivers are changing lanes. All of a sudden, it has come to life and gotten rowdy here at the front working lap 6. 62 doing a little bit of blocking there. That's what worries me when you have blocking like that going on at the front of this thing. That's, you know, sometimes that lights the wick and the bomb goes off and you set off a howitzer at the front of this thing. You're going to take multiple cars with you. Some of these drivers, I can hear over the radio complaining about pushing in the corner. Don't want to do that, especially when this car is loaded up. It doesn't take a lot. A little bit of an offset push gone wrong. You see the 18 there now. Jordan A. Byers, he got kind of shuffled out, and he's going to have to find a slot to slide in, and he does in that Toyota as he runs in that 13th place position. Kinsley Smith in the 15 machine has slid back 4 spots from where he started. He now holds on to that final spot inside the top 10. As we know, go on board with the Iceman from Tarboro, North Carolina. He is in the sucker hole, the place you don't want to be. And he is making it work. Look at this run. They are coming up the gut. Got to be like the Iceman right here, folks. I mean, this is as dicey as it gets for a driver. Typically, this is where you don't want to be. And Kinsley Smith is just making it work right now. I mean, if you go back to the onboard, we go to the GoPro camera, you can just see how the traffic is just all around this race car. Go ahead and widen things back out. That third lane dissipates. We're back to single file 2x2 racing. That'll certainly help calm the blood pressure inside the cockpit of that 15. Guys, you guys at home, let us know who you're pulling for here tonight, who you came to see. Try to let them know you're pulling for them. That helps them usually drive a little bit harder, get up on the wheel. Well, obviously, we'll get your fans some extra screen time of those drivers as well as we cheer him on here live on Ghost Racing Network. It's now working lap 10. Let's go ahead and run through the field. We started on the pole. As I said, Lake Martin has been all over this thing as he continues to carry the torch, and now is actually getting challenged from the outside in the 7 of Hayes. But as we run right now, he is still your leader. In second, there is Jared Hayes from Huntsville in the Toyota. He is looking to go places like the marketing slogan says. Davenport, even with the board where he started in the 55 ride. Brandon Honeycutt, same story for him. Started fourth, currently runs in that fourth place position. Now 10 laps through this 94 lap event. And rounding out the top 5, that's going to be Kinsley Smith. 6th belongs to the head cook, chief, and bottle washer. That is Andrew Teft. 7th, David Flanagan in the 23. I believe he is a newcomer to the single event money races. I haven't seen him out in competition yet. Greg McConey currently runs in that 8th position. Well, William Schwindenhammer, a.k.a. the Hammer from Colorado Springs, looks to be swinging that thing when it comes down to money time at the end. Currently in 9th, just inside the top 10, and rounding out that 10th place car from Wilmington, North Carolina. The heart of NASCAR country being represented strong here. A lot of drivers here from North Carolina, a place that I spent a lot of time back in my Marine Corps days, stationed in Camp Lejeune. Wilmington's a great spot just to drive down 17 from the base, about 45 minutes. Beautiful place to go and kick it back on the weekends in the Marine Corps days. Still have many good memories from that place. 12th belongs to the 28 of Nathan Mann. 13th, Jordan A. Byers. There's the other Teft, the Alex version in the 43. Robert Yost in the 00 rounds out the top 15 as they currently run right now. Kirby. Spend some time with him when I'm able to race some of these races on Thursday nights in the 10. The Spartan from Kentucky. Sometimes he has the Colonel on board. Tonight we're going to change the paint scheme up, and I'm vibing with it. 16th, Yost. Jake Roll in the 39. Currently 17th. He was that driver that had that big scare early as he got shuffled from the point and slid to the back. As you can see, he is down 12 spots from where he started. Dwayne McMahon in the 33, up 1 spot from where he started. That's that 18th place position. Residing in 19th, that is Brian LaFountain in the 87. And Ryan out the top 20 drivers right now. And everyone still in the lead draft. The Tennessee man with that smooth whiskey. That is the one and only Kyle Hess. Send it back up to the point. Ooh, the 13 almost clobbered the wall. Are you kidding me? Brandon, how did you save that? I am. Woo! That was definitely the don't stain your ride, use Tide moment of the race thus far. As I'm sure Kinsley Smith's eyes were bigger than a horse and deer light. That was absolutely wild. What a save from Honeycutt. Landon continues to lead. Ooh, they almost thought the 7 there may have thought of Haynes, might have thought of splitting that 62 and put him in the middle. But the last minute, that line shifts and goes with him. He has led all of the 15 laps started from the pole. As Davenport remains the second car in that bottom lane. But here comes the Toyota. Great looking paint scheme on that 7 of Jared Haynes. In fact, you got 2 Toyotas working together on the top side of the racetrack. Then you got the Chevrolets of Honeycutt and Smith. Curious what types of speed these guys are running around here. Last time by, your leader just ran a 51.49. Go ahead and throw the telemetry up in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You see 188 miles an hour. And I guarantee you, when we're pushing hard, tuck, nice and file, when they really got the afterburner engaged, it'll be higher than that. Does not take a long time to get around this place when you're just about going 200 miles an hour. Things happen quick, fast, and in a hurry as well. No one has bit down pit road yet as we now work lap 17, but that will happen or start to happen here in the near future. Again, it's everyone playing nice, and you can see a lot of these cars starting to migrate to the bottom. And remember, once you do decide to pit, you want to have at least one dancing partner, or you want to come down with a group of cars, because this draft is so critical. For you guys at home that necessarily may be new to iRacing or new to NASCAR, with this draft racing or plate racing, having a dance partner or battle buddy is important. Out there by yourself, it's going to look like you have 100 horsepower less than everyone else. So when these cars come down to pit road, you want to have a group or a group of cars or a tandem of drivers to come down there with you, execute the pit stop, do it properly. It's all about just getting on the pit road as fast as you can. Don't get caught speeding. Execute your pit stop. Come off pit road in sequence. Climb back up through the gearbox. But it's really easy to have something go wrong, especially when you only have a couple cars coming down pit road. We actually seen this happen last Friday night on the money stop. So many different things that can go wrong and completely ruin your night here. It's not just staying out there and holding this thing to the floor wide open. These drivers are modulating the throttle. So many things going on with the spotters, letting them know where these cars are. When you start to get a run on the car in front of you, that car starts to accelerate. You have to back off, but you don't. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of finesse here. Oh, big time lane change. And Haynes just cut the 62, a massive break. You are not going to see that later on in the race. I can promise you that, ladies and gentlemen. But clearly, Landon is on a mission to lead as many laps as he possibly can. We're quickly approaching lap 20. It has been all Velk at the front. He's done it on the top. He's done it up. He's done it on the bottom. Top shelf for Mama hides the cookies. We've seen him being able to change lanes while maintaining that position as well. And that is going to be critical later on in this race. Some of these drivers like Greg McConey in the 12. In fact, let's go on board with the man McConey. Spent some time with him at SRM. Good times with him in the broadcast booth. Very good plate racer. He knows how to get around here. I can assure you guys at home of that. There we go. There's McConey. Doing McConey things right now. Currently rides in that 14th place position. And again, he likes running the high side of this. He likes running the rim, the high side of the racetrack. I'm with him on that. I spent a couple times in these Racers Elites events with him, working with him, learning his strategy and how he attacks these races. He is a seasoned race car driver. He knows how to get it done here at the Big House, Talladega, Daytona. Just an all very well-versed race car driver. Widen things back out here. Now working lap 21 of 94. And Well, they're out there turning laps. We're going to step aside, pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We're going all-out coverage. You're not going to miss anything right here on Ghost Racing Network. Race fans, welcome back to Talladega, Alabama, as the Racers Elite Series prevents Grudge Match Money Racing tonight live in prime time. I am Matt Metler up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth, right here live on Ghost Racing Network. When the 62 of Landon Velt continues to lead every single lap of this race so far. Now working lap 27 of 94 laps, the scheduled distance tonight. And he's had his shake and bake buddy virtually with him the entire time, talking about the 55 of Davenport. And just as I say that, they get separated. And here comes Honeycutt. He has got it set to kill on the high side of the racetrack. This is going to be the first time Honeycutt, he's going to try to leave him out to dry and split the 62, but he has got room to come back down to the bottom, and he is right back with his dance partner at Davenport. That bottom lane's going to have the energy as the 55 is right in stride and welded to the bumper of the 62, and there they go. Tell you what, that dark horse has the force under the hood of that race car. That thing is FAST fast. We've seen Kinsley Smith as we are on our all-out open coverage break. Something happened, got shuffled out of the groove. Came down pit road, and he is out there all by himself. I was talking to you guys about earlier what happens if you should lose the draft. Throw up his telemetry. You can see now 175 miles an hour out there. Single car, Kinsley Smith wide open, holding it to the floorboard. And now if we go back to, let's say, Brandon Honeycutt, who's in the draft, 187, 188. So you can see how that formula does not work. You need to have a dance partner, a battle buddy. You got to stay in these trains to have a shot at winning this thing. Trying to get a top lane formed up here now. Here's the 18. There's Byers. Got the 12 up there as well of Greg McConey. He's trying to get some warriors there. Boogieing on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. We're on the lip of the fishbowl here, and here they come. McConey going to start to flex some muscle here now. Let's go on board with the 12-man. McConey working with Brandon Honeycutt. He is just in front. You can see the Pals 13 Chevrolet. You want to see how close they are, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your breath. Don't look now. But that is McConey at 186 miles an hour, just mere inches off. And down the straightaway, you betcha he's going to be making contact with the back of that Camaro. Right there. That energy, that little momentum helps move these lines forward. The always so critical pieces, the assets that you have to have. The know-how. Ooh, is Honeycutt making a move here? He's going to try to break up the tandem, and he does. He's going to shovel the 55 at Davenport out. Look at Honeycutt. Oh, he's going to squeeze it 3 wide. Are you serious? 4 wide at the front. It looks like the Blue Angels at the air show. Hello. That's the diamond formation. If Dave Regal would see that, we have a new fast lap of the race. Jake Roll at a 50.22. Speed last clocked at over 201 miles an hour. I guarantee you Honeycutt may have ruffled some feathers with that one. As we see other drivers now coming off pit road. Drivers who have pitted: Andrew Teft there in the 98. On lap 31, Kirby Wayne Scott in the 10. Alex Teft in the 43 has been down pit road. And Kinsley Smith, who continues to be the one-man wrecking crew out there. But that driver there, folks, do not write him off. That is a very capable driver, always competitive in this series. It knows how to win. I mean, he gets a caution and he is right back in this thing. So he's working about 30 seconds off the pace right now. I've been in this position before. I know how it feels. And as a driver, it's gut-wrenching. But Smith being shown in last place, one lap down. But at Talladega, that can change quick, fast, and in a hurry, especially when they're racing like they are up front right now. All-out World War II style trench warfare. Can anyone get around the 62? Another beautiful lane change execution. Did not bottle any of the lines up. I think Brandon Honeycutt's getting ready to try and dethrone him. There he goes. Here comes up the gut again. He says, what black hole? I'll use that as the stairway to heaven. Right to the point. New leader for the first time. It's Brandon Honeycutt in the 13. That's going to shuffle the 62 back to fourth. And that's going to bring, where did he come from? The McConey with him. Evans to Betsy, Jared Hayes. I almost need to get a new pair after that move. I mean, he just set it on a blind faith, hoping a prayer down to the bottom. I don't know if he knew he was going to have that gap there when he got there. But nonetheless, all things have been lean and mean and green since the drop of the green flag. No stages here tonight. We're going to step aside for our first scheduled commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back momentarily right here on Ghost Racing Network.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here.
Race fans, welcome back to the House of Speed here in Earnhardt Country, Talladega, Alabama, as pit stops are now underway. Greg McConey leading this group of cars off of pit road, last down on lap 40. That's going to be McConey, Haynes there in the 7, Landon in the 62, who virtually led the first third of this race. William Schwendenhammer, a.k.a. the Hammer. The 16 machine, Davenport, Kyle Hess, Brandon Honeycutt, all down on lap 40. However, now Logan, this is our second group now hitting pit road. Oh, we got problems. They make contact on pit road. We had a meeting of the minds, and I was talking about this earlier, ladies and gentlemen. In order to execute these pit stops perfectly, you got to carry a ton of speed. And sometimes you lock up the tires and they high-five each other, but they keep it on the racing surface, or pit lane in this case. There's multiple cars now getting service on their race cars. You can see now they're trying to leave here in sync as they go bye, 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 bye. There's a little bit of a gap here between the 34 and Yost Jr. Not ideally the situation they're looking for, is that will cost them a little bit of time out on the racetrack until they get hooked up back together. And caution now out on the racetrack. So this is going to be the first caution for incident. And this happening just as pit stops were happening. And this is really going to shuffle the field up here. It's going to be the first time we slow things down all race long, as we have been green since the initial drop of the green flag. Going to go back to GRN instant replay here. See exactly what went wrong and send it up top to the chopper cam. Going to slow this down and hit the live playback for you guys at home. Getting reports some of these drivers are going to come back down pit road here. Try to top off that fuel cell. Keep it packed full. As this race just literally fell. Gifted into Yost, Davenport, McConey. Well, Davenport, he's been up there working really well with the 62 for most of this race. But McConey was charging strong here right before the first sequence of pit stops, and he got lucky. Sometimes the cards just fall your way. In fact, let's see if we can talk to the man, McConey himself. Greg McConey, Matt up in the GRN broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother? Hey, not too much, man. How's that hot rod? It's looking pretty fast out there.
Yeah, it's pretty fun right now. We just kind of hanging around with Kinsley and Honeycutt, and we're playing a little strategy right now. At least I am. I'm coming back in right now, so it'll be fun. Car's a little bit loose for sure, so make some of those outside moves a little sketchy.
That was my next question. It seemed like it was a little loose out there. Obviously, that track tip, a little on the spicy side. What is it going to take? Obviously, you're a seasoned veteran. You know how to win these plate races. What's it going to take to put that car in victory lane when all is said and done tonight?
It's survival. Make it to the end, and, if you're there, you at least got a shot, as long as you're on the lead lap. So we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you speaking with us. Good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we're talking to you when it's over.
Sounds good, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Thanks for joining us up here in the booth, Greg.
My pleasure.
Where am I sending you to, buddy?
Back to driving extreme.
You got it, brother. Thank you again.
No worries.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, Greg McConey, always a factor in these races, and some great strategy and feedback there from one of the greats to do it here live on Ghost Racing Network. Obviously, this is the Racers Elite Money Racing Series.
Hey guys,
There we go. Greg, I got you now, buddy. Didn't want to work there at first.
You're good.
I mean, it's not that big a deal, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Both 1 and 2 went to the bottom. I mean, 1 makes sense, obviously, but.
I want to thank Greg for joining us up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. Did you hear him talking about strategy? So many different variables, so many different ways you can, dissect this race. Typically, only one hand wins. Sometimes it's going all out, high stakes Las Vegas mode at these. Other times it's critical, logical planning and hoping that everything goes your way. Davenport now in the 55, up 2 spots from where he started. Gonna take this field back to green. So we're looking for the lights to go out on the pace car this time by. And they do.
We are going green this time to make sure we're all lined up right.
Gonna re-rack, restack this field. Reach up there, pull those belts tight one more time. Again, the nighttime is the right time for Racers Elite Grudge Match Money Racing in prime time. Again, want to thank all of you guys for joining us here live on Ghost Racing Network. You want to support the cause? Best way to do that, smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to all the high-flying, high-octane racing action here on Ghost Racing Network. Set field now. Get set. Send these V8s roaring back to life here in Earnhardt Country. Calm before the storm. As I mentioned, Davenport, he's going to have the button. In fact, let's go on board with our leader for this restart. As we await that iRacing.com pace car. Make its move down pit road, and he does. Going to throw up the telemetry. Let's see how Colorado Springs puts the boogie in the hoodie. Green flag back in the air and already 100 miles an hour as he climbs up back through the gearbox. Great restart there from Davenport. Someone didn't stay in lane there. You look behind him, he's got a face full of Kyle Hess. The Hornet's Nest is back. Live and rumbling. As Davenport now just about back to max Q here, reaching 186 and 185 miles an hour. And the 71, here comes the hammer. And look who's pushing him. The 62, oh, he tried to outsmart him. Hammer was ready for it. Hammer now carrying the torch for the first time tonight. Man, that 62, he does not like being second. He is just making moves right now against the last lap of the race. He does not want to share the lead with anybody. And hey, I guess, hey, if that's your strategy, that's your strategy. Sometimes you want to avoid the big one. The best way to do it is being at the point leading this thing. But it is a John Force special. 2 lanes. Got the outside train versus the low side train. Pick your poison. You see the outside lane there. The car's a little bit offset through the corner. That's so the 23 of Flanagan can get some air to the front of that. Oh, big time side draft there. Don't know if they meant to get that close. That could have been disastrous. His hammer time continues to lead, but the 62 is currently, oh, he might get caught in the middle here. That's really going to box up the outside lane. That's going to wind up the rubber band, and that should surge them ahead. That bottom lane was nicely racked and stacked as well. And at the line, here comes a big-time push from the 23 of 2 dark horses going up against and the 55 is there as well. These guys putting on a clinic, showing you how to get it done here in Talladega. These things should start, this race is going to start, clicking up a couple notches here as these laps start to wind down. As a driver, that give and take at the end of the day that switch is going to go off, and it's going to be set to kill. You're going to see red, and it's all about putting that car in victory lane. Remember, it's not about the just winning the race tonight. We got actual cash money on the line. That always seems to crank up the intensity each and every time Andrew Taft puts on one of these races. I want to thank him for all of his hard work and dedication. You guys are looking for some additional league racing? Check out Racers Elite. They got it all. You want Xfinity? Check. They got it. Next Gen Cup Series action? Check. They got it. They got some modified short track league getting ready to kick off here, I believe, in early October as well. Go to racerselite.com. Check out the website. Everything is listed there. Even an invite to the Discord. That gets you started right here if you're looking to join a part of a group that promotes excellent, hard racing, clean, hard racing. That's one of the things I can say about, Racers Elite. They race hard, but they race clean. And they do it very well. Here we go, 62. back to the point as they're doing the Indy Snake down the backstretch into the 3 and 4 complex. While we have the time, I want to thank our official strategic design and custom wraps partner, Blackmagic. Looking for an authentic design, sick of seeing the same old thing, just recycled on trading paints, just to have the colors change around. Well, bring your one-of-a-kind dream to life. Get out of the static. Go see the guys at Blackmagic. In fact, remember, not only is it going to give you a paint scheme that pops, is truly unique and custom to you yourself, it's also good for 210s out there on the racetrack. Or at least that's what they say in their ad campaign anyhow. And better yet, tell them Ghost Racing Network sent you to hook you up with the great deal that is the one and only Blackmagic. Also can't do this without the official speed setup shop, Team Watson Racing Setups. Looking to get a one-up on the competition. You know, better yet, it's more than a setup. You want to join a family, be a part of something bigger in iRacing. TWRS, the only way to go. You know, you're not just paying for a setup, you're getting access to some of the elites in iRacing. Community that'll help you as a driver grow. It's so much more than just a weekly setup. Can't say enough good things about those guys and what they do, how much they have helped me. Proud to be one of their house drivers and privileged to have them as our strategic setup shop partner. And at this time, working lap 55 and 95, or we're going to step aside, go all-out coverage. You're not going to miss anything right here on Ghost Racing Network. Race fans, hope you enjoyed that all-out coverage here on Ghost Racing Network. Stepped aside but did not step away from the action. Checking into the YouTube live chat. Want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight. Julia rooting for the 43. Let's go, baby. I agree. Let's go, 43. Angela's rooting for the 71. And Carl Haynes rooting on the action here as well. Want to thank all of you for chiming in and joining us here. Currently have 15 people currently watching this race live. You want to invite some of your friends, got nothing else better going on. Watch some great high-flying, high-octane sim racing action. And don't forget, we're also going to be paying out the top 3 when this is all said and done. Hammer time has really come on strong here over the last 10, 15 laps or so. We started off just kind of running mid-pack or near the back of this thing in that Toyota. And that, again, a big part of the strategy. You can play Talladega. You can attack this, a lot of different ways to skin a cat or attack this race. And right now, his formula is vibing as he's out there leading that second lane. At the line, it's going to be the 71 by 2/100ths of a second, and that could very easily also be the winning margin of victory. As these drivers continuing to ride out and hold on here to about probably 5 laps to go or so. That's when we should see things really start to escalate and get wild and absolutely rowdy out there on the racetrack. There's Andrew Teft, again, the 98, works so hard and diligently to put these events on. Big time side draft coming from the 16. He's trying to be a one-man army out there. Gonna have to side draft the heck out of Andrew Teft, which he is doing, unless he gets some help coming, and he does. He's gonna have to wait on the 12, though. That is gonna be Greg McConey. He said so in an interview. Likes riding the high side of this racetrack, especially when it's a little loose out here. That spicy track temp being over the century mark. In fact, let's see what that track temp is right now. 107 degrees, so it's down a little bit as we started this at 118. But we're still north of the century mark. It's still going to get slick out there at times, especially in that turbulent air. In fact, let's go on board with the 43 of the one and only Andrew Teft. As he is in the middle right now, it is World War II style trench warfare in and around the 43. We flip it over to the GoPro camera. I mean, you can see, just working inches off of these race cars. As Teft runs in that 13th place position. You hear him feathering the throttle there a little bit. He's managing the draft, managing the gap in front of him, the car in front of him. It's not just out here holding this car wide open. It is so much more than that. You can hear him feathering the throttle there, lifting. Now, the one person that's holding this thing wide open, getting all he can out of it, this man right here. Hammer time, William Schwimdenhammer. From Colorado Springs, you're not going to hear him lifting or blipping the throttle. However, the downside to leading this thing, he's getting the worst fuel mileage out here more than anybody. He's the first car punching the hole in this clean air. He's got the most drag on him, and he is paying the penalty for that in the fuel economy department. Go ahead and widen things back out. Again, we started this race with 20 drivers taking the initial green flag. All 20 are still out there in competition. Or excuse me, one out, that's going to be Hess, the 86. Is retired and put it on the hull. We start to approach lap 70. Taking a look here at the pit strategy here, this stint. Drivers up at the front, you can see the top 6 all came down on lap 40. And if you do the math here, 40 plus 40 is 80. That's not enough to get here to the end of this thing as we're going at 94 laps. So do we get a caution here? Do we get the big one? Or are we going to have to go through another round of green flag pit stops and see who gets it right? That could be the winning decision, or the winning move here could potentially be done in the pits, not out there on the racetrack. Ooh, it's a 13. Decides he's going to send it to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. He's got McCody and company with him, and they are rolling. Hello, car loaded. How did they not wreck? There's a second woulda, coulda, shoulda moment of the evening. But man, McConey and company, I mean, they are literally running the wall. And some of these guys starting to get antsy out there, trying to squeeze positions, force positions. Not sure if that was deliberate. That just could have been a byproduct of plate racing there. Look who's back to the lead. Old Belk. I mean, this guy has been determined to carry the torch here, lead this piece. Started from the pole. And again, there's nothing wrong with that strategy. That's the, how do you stay out of the big one? Well, you can go to the back, or if you're at the very front, if you're good enough, and clearly he is, you can clearly see that he knows how to plate race. Here comes Davenport. Up one position from where he started. He's getting a good push there. Or excuse me, that's Flanagan. He's charging, not leading the outside lane. And looking for these drivers to start making some moves now, as we're just 24 laps to go. Remember, we're still going to have another pit stop. We don't have enough juice in the box to make it to the scheduled distance. And overtime, well, that could be a whole other animal. At this time, 24 laps to go. We're going to step aside, take our final commercial break, and we'll be back with the remaining competition here live on Ghost Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Race fans, welcome back to Earnhardt Country, Talladega, Alabama. Racers Elite live in prime time. And what a nightcap. Why not end a Saturday night with a little bit of grudge match money racing? That's what's on the line right now. Again, sounding off in the YouTube live chat. Want to thank Angela rooting for the 43. Let's go, baby. That's not me speaking. That's Julia, of course. Angela rooting for the 71. Carl Haynes in the house as well. Rooting on the competition and their favorite driver. If you got one, let us know here in the chat. Sound off. Tell us who is in the house on board for the ride with us here tonight in prime time. Get the graphics back on the screen for you folks at home. And again, now under 20 laps to go. This is when you're going to see the excitometer start to go ballistic. Spotters on top of the spotter stand trying to cut deals with drivers. The time is now. Perhaps you had a dance partner, someone that you plan to work with before the race. Sometimes plate races, these things happen. You got to make the now. Who do you have at your disposal? Who can you work with to improve your chances or get to victory lane, or from a money perspective, place inside the top 3? That's what all of these drivers. When do we see pit stops? It has to be happening soon, and here they come. We got a group of cars heading down to pit road, being led by David Flanagan. Oh, we got him off in the grass. 2 cars off into the grass. The money stop strikes again. Pit road gone wrong. However, no contact made. We stay green, and all these cars somehow, some way, funnel into their pit boxes at the same time. I don't know how many times we've seen them have an incident like that, and they go through the grass and squirt back up out of the racetrack. Here comes Flanagan working with the 7 of Hayes. First 2 cars coming off of pit road together. They're nose to tail just how you want for maximum speed and performance. 2 cars coming back up to speed as they get ready to merge back out onto the racing surface. The Hammer there as well, completing his final pit stop. This all happening on lap 79. So you got Hayes, the Hammer, Alex Teft, Andrew Teft. There's this next group of cars. These guys down on lap 74. Yost there as well. Kirby Wayne Scott in the 10. Trust me, the Oreo man is trying not to be the cream filling at the end of this thing. He does not want to turn that car into Reese's Pieces. We cycle back now to the lead. This group of cars being led by Brandon Honeycutt, Greg McConey there once again in the 12. The 39er roll is in that 3rd and final podium position. Briars in 4th and Nathan Mann in the 28th and 5th, but they cannot go the distance. They are going to have to stop, or I think they're going to have to stop. As you can see, the first time around, looks like Man stayed out 42 laps. Still, if he does another 42 lap stint, he's still going to come up short. I don't believe these cars have enough fuel to make it. Going to be interested to see how this all plays out. When does Tyler Honeycutt lead these group of leaders down pit road? Tick, tick to tick. The clock continues to roll. The laps continue to wind down. Greg McConey in the 12. Runs in that second place position. Let's go on board with McConey. As you can see, you have the battle for the first time Delta, as well as Greg McConey's from... I had no idea he was from Michigan. Let's see if they decide to duck down pit road this time by. He is now given a monster push here to Brandon Honeycutt. And you can see how that affects the speeds out there right now on the racetrack. 187 miles an hour into the 3 and 4 complex. Let's see if they come down pit road this time by. They do not. So while they stay out on the racetrack for another lap, this group here, Kinsley Smith as well, in this group of cars, unfortunately, he had that mishap at the very start of this race, just has not been able to recover as he's being scored in that 14th place position. First car, one lap down. If we do get a caution, this would completely change everything for the Napa Know-How man. Here they come. Brandon Honeycutt, Greg McConey. You look at them fan out as they all hit pit road. Tires are locking up. Don't make any contact. Here comes the cavalry. And that's how you execute a money stop with 7 or 8 race cars all trying to hit the same entrance to pit road. Beautifully done. Should only need a splash of fuel here. 2 gallons or so should do it. So now starting to roll. Oh, the 18 has a problem. I think he blew his box. It did not go well for the 18. Oh, this could be catastrophic for buyers. Is McConey, man, Logan, Honeycutt, and Roll are all coming off of pit road. Let's see where the effective leaders are. They're about 5 seconds back. This group right here, being led by Flanagan. Hayes with them as they continue to try and run down McConey, Mann, and Honeycutt. I believe they are going to have a big enough gap. They are going to be able to stay out in front, as we're just 9 laps to go. And let's try to widen things out here. See if I can show you guys just how the gap looks from the blimp. So there's your effective leader. That's Logan Joyner, Nathan Mann in the 28. That's 1, 2. That's your first 2-car tandem. That's for the lead. Then you have Brandon Honeycutt, Greg McConey, Flanagan. And Flanagan leads the second group of cars, who is about 5 seconds behind this lead pack. So for right now, all intents and purposes, unless we have a caution, this top 5 cars is going to be for the lead, for the win. As we take it now to the point, Sundrop Man with the plan in the Camaro. Again, I told you guys earlier how we have a green flag pit stop for that money stop. This could really shake up the running order, and it has. It has completely flipped this field. In fact, they are pulling away from the second group of cars being led by Flanagan. That margin now over 6 seconds. And they're not going to catch him running side by side. They need to be formed up, tucked in line. This is not doing them any favors. Perhaps they're shuffling the cars right now, trying to see where they have the most speed. Andrew and Alex Teft in this group right now as they run just inside the top 10, set 7th and 8th place position. Oh, a big time door slam. Oh, we got problems. He's going to go kapow. The car explodes. We got parts rated into the infield, and that is going to put out the caution flag. It should. Or are we going to stay green? He is off the racing surface. Flanagan absolutely got destroyed. He goes up the racetrack. He looks like he's trying to throw the caution flag, but it's not coming out. We're going to stay green. Keep it on the racetrack. Yo, come on. Don't do that. There you go. Bring it back down pit road. We're staying green, ladies and gentlemen. Race control does not seem to be throwing a caution flag here. I thought it was going to come out a couple different times, but we're staying green. Brandon Honeycutt continues to lead. In his rearview mirror, the man you want to see at Talladega and Daytona probably more than anybody, McConey. Oh, he gets pushed there. He gets loose. Big time push there from the 15. Hensley Smith, remember, he is in the lead pack, but unfortunately still marred a lap down. So it's virtually who does Kinsley Smith want to potentially help win this race? He can play a big-time spoiler role, even though he's not going for the podium. He can influence the race. He almost was, though. I thought for sure we were going to have a caution there. I am shocked that it did not come out. But, again, race control, you know, they see sometimes things differently than we do here in the broadcast booth. Who is it going to be? As we take another one off the board here at the line. 3 laps remaining. Let's go on board with the 34. From Wilmington, North Carolina, right there on the Atlantic. He's trying to bring the party and the vibe to Earnhardt Country here tonight. Could be in the catbird seat. And remember, Talladega is not like Daytona. They purposely put the start-finish line way down here, almost all the way to the end of the straightaway before you get into turn 1. And in real life and in sim racing, the car that's leading coming out of the 3-4 complex is not the leader at the line. It's all about who can guess the run right on the last lap, who is going to have the mojo, the momentum to get across the line first. As we have popsicle sticks in the air, just 2 laps remaining. Everything these drivers have worked for, they've raced their tails off all race long. The strategy, it all comes down to this. Kinsley Smith looking like he's going to work with his buddy, Brandon Honeycutt, as he often does in Racers Elite League competition. McConey there going to get credited for leading that lap. But McConey knows this is the lap that counts. Kinsley Smith behind him. That's probably a good thing. That's what McConey wants to see. This is a John Force special down the backstretch for the final time. Into the 3 and 4 complex. Greg McConey looking to take it to the big house here in Earnhardt Country. But here comes a run from the high side of the racetrack. As we hit the tri-oval for the final time. Is it gonna be a photo finish at the line? Coming to the stripe, big time push. Here comes the outside line, they're wrecking. It's gonna be Greg McConey as we have an eruption of car parts turning into a parking lot just after the start-finish line. Greg McConey gets the win in prime time. Jake Roll, Nathan Mann comes home third. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you do it here at Talladega. What a drive by these drivers. Great showmanship. True professionals out there, not just playing whack-a-mole with each other. That is how you do it. Congratulations, Greg McConey. The speed shop man had the plan and gets the W here in Talladega. You know, on one side of the coin, you have the excitement. You're just on top of the world right now. And for some of these drivers, pits in their stomach, wishing they could have did something different on that last lap, as McConey now burns the house down. So we now wait for our drivers to now join us here in the waiting room, the top three. But Greg McConey gonna get the win. See if we can find Greg McConey here. Greg, Matt, up in the booth. You got a copy, brother. Well, hey, man. That was textbook Talladega. What a move. What a plan. How were you able to hold off that pack of wolves and put that car in victory lane, man? That was absolutely spectacular.
The three of us worked so well together. That's why I jumped in and talked with these guys. They're always a blast. No, but that was all thanks to them. We got Honeycutt up to the lead, and then I was planning to just kind of hold that second place and trap that car on the inside, and we just got a huge run on them. And Honeycutt backed off, let Kinsley jump in, so we went 1, 2, 3 bottom line, and that's what happened. We were able to hold off that charge, so that's all thanks to them.
It's ironic that you're mentioning that. I was talking about the top of the broadcast how you can't just have, you can't be a one-man winning machine. It's going to take partners. It's going to take strategy. And you mentioned Kinsley Smith and Brandon Honeycutt. You could see how you guys from up here in the booth were trying to work together. And, Kinsley Smith, unfortunately, was still caught a lap down. But yet here he is helping you get a big-time victory here tonight.
No, for sure, man. It was all thanks to those guys. They were fantastic all the way around. That lead group after the pit stop was just a bunch of fun to hang out with. But yeah, no, it took teamwork tonight and just being lucky and being in the right spot.
Well, hey, man, sometimes everything just goes your way in the big house here in Earnhardt Country, and you made it look easy. I know it was anything but that as we watch you tear up the grass. Before we cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 12?
No, I got to thank, first off, Frank Marchese. He's my spotter, jumps in and helps me out with a lot of these races. He and I do a great job with pit calls, so a lot of the calls tonight were on him. And then I got to thank, like I said, Honeycutt and Kinsley again, those two for pushing me the rest of the way. I got to thank the Tefts for putting this race on. Got to thank my wife, Sydney, and family that I know is always watching. Shout out to them. I'm psyched I got to win in this car. This is my daughter's favorite TV show, so I'm glad I got to run and win in this car for her. So, no, man, I got to thank you. You put on a great show. I can't wait to go back and watch this thing afterwards. But, yeah, thanks to everybody, and let's go. That's a good win. I'll take it.
Hey, man, I'm fired up for you. And, hey, you got Father Frank up there in the booth. You can catch him live on SRM at times throughout the year. Does a phenomenal job in broadcasting. You and I teamed up for some time over at SRM as well, so I'm just ecstatic for you guys. Tell Frank I said hello. I hope he's doing well. And ladies and gentlemen, no one circles the wagons in prime time like the driver of the 12. That is the one and only Greg McCody. Enjoy it, brother.
I can't look at anything.
Appreciate it, Matt. Thanks again, man.
You're very welcome.
But yeah, just
all right, ladies and gentlemen, as we move on to our second place finisher in the 39 tonight.
And anybody would say that, so that's my 2 cents.
Still trying to find him here. Let's see if
it was fun racing.
He happened to sneak in the back door here.
Dude, it was awesome working with you and Landon and Jared, man.
Trying to locate.
I don't know, maybe
Jake
we can
Roll.
do a truck race around here and we can
Be
pop
hearing
off
from him
the
momentarily.
sweep.
Hopefully he did not leave. He may not have known. We were going to interview him.
Oh, now I just realized our
There he is, joining me up here in the booth.
So.
Jake, Matt, up top. You got a copy, brother.
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear, man. How we doing?
Hey, man. Dude, I'm doing fantastic. You guys put on one heck of a race. This race got intense tonight. Pit stops were a big part of the equation. How were you able to time that second pit stop and put that car in P2?
Yeah, I just knew, obviously, the longer we went, right, we had to add less fuel to it. So me and my 2 teammates, Logan Joyner and Nathan Mon, were just working together, hanging out in the back, saving fuel, and then ended up going in when it was 6-7 laps to go, and it was, very short. So everyone nailed it and came out with a 13 and 12, and the show was on.
Man, it looked like you guys had a cheat sheet, or like Back to the Future when he went back and got the sports book with all the scores, how you guys just knew exactly when to execute that pit stop. And, that's just Talladega. Sometimes you hit it right and everything goes your way, and other times you can leave that pit in your stomach. You mentioned your strategy, dropping to the back. That's where you seen you at certain times of the race. Did it just kind of evolve that way, or was that your initial plan out of the gate here tonight?
Yeah, honestly, right off the rip, like I did, and then later on in the race, Nate and Logan joined in the back. But once the green flag dropped from the start, I just wanted to hang out in the back. Obviously, 94 laps, it's a long time with the one fast repair, so it just made the most sense. And I knew, obviously, if it went green and got into fuel strategy, as long as we were on the top of the choice there with that, Nate, Logan, and I were going to be staying up front, as the field got spaced out and spread apart. So,
yeah, and you guys definitely had some great pace there, especially at the end of this thing. You were pulling away from that next group of cars. You were outrunning them sometimes 3 to 4 tenths a lap. You guys were absolutely flying there at the end. Man, who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done in Team TRD and that Toyota, man?
Yeah, just all of us at Budweiser Racing. It's literally just Nate, Logan, and I, and we just kick it around and have fun with it. So glad to be standing here with P2, first event with this group. So it was honestly a very clean race and had a lot of fun. So looking forward to the next one, and obviously got to shout you out with the broadcast. Can't do it without people like you. So appreciate your time and looking forward to obviously coming back to it and listening it through.
Well, hey, man, appreciate you. And obviously, that's how you make a first impression. First time out with these guys, and you had those Clydesdales ripping. Budweiser Racing flexes some muscle. Second place for Jake. That's how you do it. Congratulations, man. Hopefully, we'll see you in future events here in Racers Elite, man.
Awesome. Sounds good. Appreciate it again, Matt. You have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thank you, man. See, that's why I told you, folks, it's Talladega. You never know. If you put a car on the racetrack, you have a legit shot to put it in victory lane on the podium, and that's exactly what he did tonight. One final driver left to join me up here in the booth to round out the podium here this evening, and that is the one and only Nathan Mann. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir, Matt. I got a copy. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. You got to be absolutely lit right now. Describe that race for me tonight.
Man, that Piedmont Airlines Chevy Camaro was as fast as Xfinity 10G Internet. I tell you what, dude. But it started off a little rocky for us. The group of myself, Jake, and Logan had a really bad entry onto the first pit stop. I think we all did something wrong, and it ended up working out because right as soon as we got in the pits, caution came out. So that really saved us there. And then from then on, we were able to work with the 12 and 13 cars and on that last stop there. And it ended up working out, being kind of just a battle between the five of us there for the win. But yeah, obviously would have loved to push Jake one position further, but can't be mad at a 2-3 finish, and then a fifth place finish as well for Logan. So all in the top five. Great finish for our team.
No, well said, and that was one heck of a showing, and that was basically, what Jake said just moments ago. Talk to me about just the mental stresses and the roller coaster here at Talladega. You mentioned that first pit stop. It didn't execute how you guys had planned, and knowing you're kind of behind the 8 ball, and then boom, you get that caution at the right time, and it completely, just flips the race instantly and puts it right back into your hands within the blink of an eye.
Yeah, definitely flipped it on its head right there. I think we were all kind of a little dejected, but that feeling didn't last very long. Like you said, roller coaster is a great word to describe the emotions there. I think from then on, though, we tried to just keep a level head. We knew what lap we were coming in for the last stop there. Just trying to stay out of all the drama and the swerving cars between the first and the second stop. And then, once we got back out on track, we saw we had about a 7-second gap, and we did pretty good. Even though we were too wide, we were still pretty organized. So I don't know what the full gap was there at the end, but I know I was checking it very little, but I did check it. And I know at one point it was up to 8.8 or something like that. So I think from then on, we were all just kind of in the boat of, one of us is going to finish in the top 3, right? Definitely be able to put a Budweiser racing car on the podium. So, we were happy with that. Of course, would have loved the win, but 2 cars on the podium for us, not too bad at all.
No, definitely great night. And at the end of that thing, you guys definitely had the afterburners lit in that lead pack. You were pulling away from the competition. You mentioned the side-by-side racing. You guys are a class act. Demonstrated you can still put on one heck of a race while not wadding up race cars and just knocking everyone all over the place at the finish. That was as good as it gets, man. And I see you're in Wilmington, North Carolina. I spent some time in Camp Lejeune, about 45 minutes north of there. Beautiful area. Nice. I had some great times there.
Yeah. Wilmington's a good place. Spent most of my life there. I'm up in the Charlotte area now, but I always call Wilmington my hometown, and it's always nice to go back and visit family and friends. But yeah, like I said, great area.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Mann is this your first race in the series tonight as well?
Last week was my first.
Well, hey, strong appearance, strong showing here tonight from Nathan Mann, Jake Roll, as they put 3 cars inside the top 5, 2 in the money. And just like Jake, they had the Clydesdales set to kill tonight as he comes home with that 3rd place position. Congratulations, man. I hope they catch you next time in the next one, buddy. You have a great night.
Yep. Thanks, Matt. You too.
Always a pleasure to speak with these guys. You can hear the enthusiasm in his voice. All these guys fired up, and why not when there's a little bit of money involved as well? Again, want to thank Andrew Teff for all the hard work, all the drivers, the sponsors, the partners that come out to make these races possible. And obviously, you guys at home joining us here live on Ghost Racing Network, cheering these drivers on while they're out there doing battle on the racetrack. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Let's go ahead and pull up the final results here tonight. And you cannot ask for much better racing than that. That's about as good as it's going to get. And the racing you come to expect with such great names in the field. Again, Greg McConey comes out on top. He gets the win. Let's go ahead and pull up those final results. There we go. Get those up on the screen. See if they'll work with me here now. There they go. Getting the win tonight, you heard from Greg McConey. He is going to be your race winner here this evening. Coming home in second, Jake Roll. Third, Nathan Mann. That's going to be your top three. In fourth, Brandon Honeycutt. Rounding out the top five, that's going to be Logan Joyner. In the 7 machine, Jared Hayes comes home 6th. Andrew Teff provides 7th. The Hammer, a.k.a. William Schwindenhammer, in the 71. 8th. Kirby Wengscott rolls home 9th. And rounding out the top 10, that's Rob Yost Jr. From Chicken Coop Racing, Alex Teff in the 43. 11th. 12th belongs to Jordan A. Byers, while Dwayne, the Privateer McMahon, in the 33. 13th. 14th belongs to Landon Velk, who was so strong early on through this race. Mike Davenport, 15 in the 55 ride. Kinsley Smith could not overcome that early race miscue. However, plays a huge factor in determining the winner of this race. Big shout out to him. As you heard from Greg McConey, that is Kinsley Smith, who comes home 16th. 17th, Robert Nofisinger Jr. If I have butchered that, I apologize. 18th belongs to David Flanagan. Coming home 19th, that's Brian LaFountain. And rounding out the 20 cars from BP Racing, that is going to be Kyle Hess in that 20th place position. Well, like everything, ladies and gentlemen, all good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. Want to thank the partners, the fans, the drivers, and everyone that works so hard to put these events on. Without you guys, these are simply not possible, and we appreciate all the time and effort that you give to Racers Elite iRacing, and obviously the drivers and families, allowing them to come out here and participate. And as the late, great Tony Trepasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, ladies and gentlemen, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic. And we'll see you next time right here on Ghost Racing Network. Good night.